Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Park Bench. I'm Doug Barton, real estate agent with Long & Foster in Bethany Beach. And with me today is Ann Vogel of Prosperty Home Mortgage. Good afternoon, Ann.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Good to
Thank
have
you.
you here.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. So here we are at the end of November 2022. Can you tell us what's going on with home finances?
Well, we've seen a pretty big shift in the market in terms of financing this year. All of us have had to shift our thinking from how we can assist buyers with these higher interest rates, get a little bit more creative with their financing options. So we've definitely seen the buyers pull back just a little bit because some people saw the rates when they were in the threes in COVID. And now obviously we're in the mid sixes right now. So trying to kind of come up with more creative ideas for those buyers.
Mhm. Now, the rates have been this high before, haven't they?
They have. We've done historical rate chart graphs, and those graphs definitely show that rates over the last 20 to 25 years have actually even been higher than they are today. So we do expect them to come back down again because if you go back even just through the last 10 years, rates have gone up. I think 7 was the most recent rate close to where we are today that we've seen. And then they ended up coming back down again. Maybe we're not going to get back down into the threes, but I do feel like we'll see something go a little bit lower.
So I have a question for you. Is there
Mhm.
anything that sellers can do to make it easier for people to buy their homes? Are there any strategies that they might employ?
We've actually been suggesting to our real estate partners that they discuss with their sellers holding firm on their price and rather than dropping their prices to help with those buyers' closing costs. Closing cost assistance can help with lowering their interest rate, getting a lower payment for that buyer, and maybe easing them into that higher rate environment that we're in today. Then, with the expectation that hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, that buyer can refinance out of that. It just gets them into a little short term, lower payment to start with.
So how does that work? Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so if the buyer's sales price was 400,000, we're going to tell you as the agent, hold at that 400,000 and maybe offer a $7,500 closing assist. That can be used to buy down their rate. Sometimes we can get a quarter to a half a percent off that rate. And in a loan of doing a 20% down, they might have a benefit of $150 to $200 a month in savings. So that might help that buyer with that little bit of sting that they're seeing on what rates are today.
Okay, that could be very helpful
Hmm.
to buyers for sure.
Right.
So do you have any advice for buyers these days?
So buyers need to do their due diligence when they're working with a lender. They really need to make sure they're exploring all options, whether it's this buy down, asking for closing cost assistance. So very important to work closely together so they know that they're going into the right type of loan program. Also, some buyers are looking at adjustable rate loans today versus doing a fixed rate loan. Again, gets them a little lower payment, but has that rate fixed for a few years until again they might have that opportunity to refinance.
Well, that's very helpful, Ann.
Hmm.
So, like I said, here we are at the end of November. Can
Hmm.
we do this again from time to time when interest rates change
I
or
would
something
love
new
to.
comes up in the industry?
Would love to. And I
Yeah.
think too, with the market changing and as dynamic as it's been recently, I feel like us doing this a little more often might be a better help to your clients and people looking at this because it is changing very quickly. Just in the last couple of weeks, we finally saw some easing of interest rates where we had just been seeing them increasing and increasing day after day. So I do think that it's so ever changing. We need to keep up with that.
Well, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you, and it's my
Yeah.
favorite question that I ask just about everybody.
Okay.
What would you like people to know about you personally?
Oh, wow. So I'm originally from Maryland, but I've been living in Delaware now for 18 years. I used to vacation here as a young child, literally, with my family. I grew up outside of DC, but I think one of the things that I pride myself in that relates to me personally and to my work is that I do like that more personal connection. I feel like we get away from it sometimes by relying on social media and the internet and all of this stuff. So I do like to try to give my clients a little more personal focus. And that's something that I kind of pride myself
Yeah,
on.
I think
So
that's important. Really, relationships, I think, is important in any business. I
yeah.
I try to develop it myself with my clients, and I find
Hmm.
it to be the best way to help people to be your genuine self.
I agree. I agree. I've been doing this a long time, so I definitely have the experience to help people,
Mhm.
but I still think that every buyer is so different. We really need to kind of get into it with each of them and find out what each person needs or doesn't need. This is a big deal. It's a big purchase. We have a lot more people moving here full time, so that's a big change too. We've all seen kind of this shift in the market. Not only because of COVID, but prior to COVID, we were seeing more people moving here to make it their primary home. So it's an important move. It's a big decision for people in general. So it really takes a lot for us to kind of dig into all of that when we start working with our buyers.
That should give people a great deal of comfort working with you as a loan originator.
Hmm.
And so, Ann, I want to thank you for being with me
Of course.
today.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
I look forward to doing this again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Bye bye.